What is up, our friends of film fandom and video game fandom in this instance, wherever you may be and however you may be watching and or listening. We appreciate you all being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, The Harsh Truth, and as always, I am obviously not Frank. He did not get a chance to see this magnificent movie that we're gonna bring to you here and tell you about tonight. But here to do that with me instead, of course, is the better half of whatever insanity I bring to the world. Would be my wife over here, 10 Septim. And how are you this evening?
Doing good. This was quite an interesting watch, so I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, I think interesting is definitely a way to describe this movie. There's plenty, I'm sure, that we have to say about it. And this is just the beginning. We're gonna be for the next week and a half, or 3 shows, whatever that means. We're gonna be talking about some Mario. So yeah, strap in because it's a rocky start with this movie right here. And of course, as always, the other better half, my mother's in the chat, so say hi. You know the rules. But yeah, if you read the title, saw the thumbnail, your eyes do not deceive you. We are going to talk about Super Mario Bros. From 1993. If I can pull my notes up and actually read. Super Mario Brothers, also known as Super Mario Bros. The Movie, is a 1993 science fantasy adventure film loosely based on Nintendo's Mario franchise. The first American feature-length live-action film based on a video game. It was directed by the husband and wife team of Rocky Morton and Annabel Jankel, with screenplay by Parker Bennett, Terry Runté? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. And Ed Solomon. It follows brothers Mario, played by Bob Hoskins, and Luigi, played by John Leguizamo, in their quest to rescue Princess Daisy, played by Samantha Mathis, from a dystopian parallel universe ruled by the ruthless President Koopa, who we know is played by Dennis Hopper. In the United States and Canada, Super Mario Bros. Collected only $8.5 million during its opening weekend, ranking 4th place at the box office below Cliffhanger, Made in America, and Dave. In total, the film grossed $17.9 million internationally for a worldwide total of just over $38 million, if I can read numbers correctly. This is against a reported $45 million budget, so yeah, not good. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 27% of 44 critics' reviews are positive. The website's consensus reads, quote, "Despite flashy sets and special effects, Super Mario Bros. Is too light on story and substance to be anything other than a novelty." Yeah. There are so many things, and especially if you've never seen this movie or experienced it, which I believe this is a first watch for you, right? So I have obviously seen this movie. Nintendo likes to act like it didn't happen. It doesn't exist. But, however, I mean, I could, in about 15 seconds, run in there and grab the physical copy that I have on DVD. It does exist, Nintendo. I don't know if you should be ashamed of it. I don't blame you. I think the way to describe this is the Super Mario Bros. Movie to Nintendo is what the Star Wars Holiday Special is to Star Wars. You can act like it didn't exist. You can try to get rid of all the copies, any trace of this thing, but it is still out there, and we still have to acknowledge it. So that's what we're going to do. So, being that this is your first watch, give me some quick thoughts, which I know is a really tall task to ask about a movie like this, but give me some quick thoughts on this movie before we really take a dive down that warp pipe.
First of all, wow, what a film! That's the first thing I have to say. Quick thoughts. What what was this husband and wife duo thinking when they when they when they did this film? My quick thoughts. What were they thinking? Why in general? I mean, I get where they were coming from, sort of. I mean, I guess thinking of the source material that they had in the 90s, I mean, how much did they really have to go off of? My quick thoughts. I'm gonna have a maybe unpopular opinion here. I kind of liked this movie. It was a little bit fun. I mean, it was really weird, and goofy and really quirky, but I kind of enjoyed it because of how weird and quirky it was. But I can understand why Nintendo wanted to kind of shuffle this one under the rug at the same time. The premise of the movie, very weird, very out of the box. Those are my quick thoughts before we really dive into what we're working with here.
Yeah, we're still on World 1-1. Like, we're not we haven't even got there yet. Yes, I'm gonna keep making video game jokes throughout this whole thing. I do think why is a good question, and I think that's a lot of, I think, like, before, if you've never seen it and like you just try to describe it to somebody, or like you tell them, hey, there's this, movie from the early 90s about Super Mario, I think you would ask why. And especially even if you just see some clips of it, you're just like, what? I don't know. But as we say here, I mean, don't, go watch a movie and don't feel like you wasted your time. Although I feel like that's what a lot of people thought, Nintendo included, because again, they wanted to wash their hands of this. But there is, I maybe ironically and probably also unironically like this movie because it is entertaining. It is just goofy and off the wall. And to be fair, I mean, working with whatever you have, I mean, you only have about 8 years of Mario right now at this point. Mario came out in 85. This is 93. You haven't even broken 10 years of games. And what do you have? This little platformer dude who canonically was actually a carpenter first, but whatever. He's a plumber. And his design comes from the fact that they were just not necessarily lazy, but they're like, hey, we can't give him hair, so give him a hat. We can't make it look like he's wearing like a shirt. Like, give him overalls. Screw it. You know what I mean? So it just became what it is. I mean, the games did, at least. But when you try to adapt something like this to live action, I think that's where it missed the mark. Because I mean, I think me, Frank, texted, we're talking about like the cartoon, the animated one, and like that works. And we're later this week, we're going to talk about the 2023 movie, which was computer animated, which that's what made me more comfortable with the idea of this. Cause I'm like, if there is been nothing since then, and you tell me there's gonna be a Mario movie, I'm like, oh, this is my only frame of reference.
I would argue that even if this movie was computer animated, I would still be asking why. I would still be asking why, because the whole premise of this movie is kind of crazy. I think I would still be asking why the plot is still kind of crazy. Even if this was an animated movie, I feel like I'd still be asking the question why. I would argue that even if it was animated, just saying.
Well, I mean, even 1993 animated, even then, like we said, we've seen the cartoon, like the show, the Super Mario Brothers show. I'm like, it's a little, you can kind of get away with more when it's animated, so it lends itself more to that. I'm saying, yeah, with this, as well, okay, at least my mom's like, we like weird. Text, yeah, we could have just been like, and Rachel says why. All right, end the show. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. That's the end of the review. And of course, Frank lurking in the background. The actual Frank, he is alive. Don't think that just because I'm here. There are some crazy cool visuals, but what the hell was this movie? That's a fair assumption. I mean, really. But like I said, there is just something weirdly entertaining about this, and even there's some one-liners in this. There's some genuinely funny stuff. Like I said, when you have Dan Castanella, whatever his name is, narrating the beginning, telling you, "Hey, so there was this meteor that hit." I'm doing with the accent too for historical accuracy. He's like, "Yeah, there was Brooklyn, and a big meteor came out of the sky and it hit and destroyed all the dinosaurs. And then what if it like split into 2 dimensions because of that? And then it shattered. And then there's this little bit of the meteor. And if it was put back together, then the 2 worlds would merge again." I'm like, can you rewind like about 30 seconds and say that one more time? That's what we're doing. Now, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that's been the plot of Mortal Kombat as well, which also came out around this time. Shao Kahn's always trying to merge Outworld and Earthrealm, whatever. So it works, but like I said, when I go back to my point of you have a guy who's platforming, jumping on turtles, and eating shrooms. I mean, is that the movie we would have wanted? I don't know. I don't know whose idea this was and why we landed on it, but oh Lord, here we are. I mean, this movie's almost 30 years old. I say here we are like it was yesterday. Oh God. But what's the first? Oh, okay. Well, I guess the first part is actually the directors, which I don't have a picture of because I probably couldn't be bothered. But I don't know. Let's get my boy in here. Let's get Luigi. My biblically accurate and canonical Luigi forever till the end of time. John Leguizamo. Oh, there went my tab. Hold on. No, come back here. My notes just flew off. Bear with me. There we go. So the directors, and as it says, went on to rather unmemorable careers, and I can't imagine why. So I guess give me your thoughts on what they did with this movie. I know another big ask, but I'm gonna look them up and see what else they did. But what do you think about this husband and wife team making this movie?
I mean, they were definitely in it together. That's about all I have to say about it. I mean, I think that they definitely went in and made something. They certainly had a vision. I will say that they had a vision and they went for it. And I think that it was an interesting choice. Just the direction that the whole thing went. I mean, like you guys know, if you've been watching and you've seen me on this show, I'm not the movie buff that everybody else is. So I can't say much on the directors, but they definitely took this movie and did something with it. I mean, like I said before, I kind of enjoyed this movie just because it was like, what am I watching? This is very weird. But I like stuff like that. So props to them for that, I guess. Yeah. What else have they done? Have they done any other movies? Have they anything notable? Anything to note?
Well,
I mean, we're looking.
Sorry, I'm trying to mute so we don't talk over each other. The only thing, and I don't know what their involvement, more so the husband, Rocky Morton. The only thing, it's a really short list. I open it up and I'm like, there's not even 2 rows on him. And on her, actually, for that matter. Good Lord. The only thing that I see that's really of note is Max Headroom, the actual Max Headroom show from the 80s. And then there's, what is this? Max Headroom 20 Minutes in the Future, which I think is something that she also had. She had Tell It to the Bees in 2018. I have no idea what that is. DOA, Dead on Arrival in 1988. I wish my tabs would keep running away. They don't even want to be here either. She has something called Desperate Journey that came out last year, whatever that is. Scale from 2009. I know I'm, these are obviously up there with stuff like, Citizen Kane. Obviously, everybody knows what it is when I say it. But yeah, with him, Max Headroom, also DOA, Max Headroom, Super Mario, of course, Genius of Love, The M Word, Suffrage, Marks for Beginners, which I think was something else she did. Yes. And also the husband, I believe it said, also And Her, which may have been something that they did together, was they were both prominent music video directors, because there is something here from Rush on hers, which, I mean, hey, it's Rush. That's pretty damn cool.
Music video directors makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about ad nauseum about, like, Rob Zombie. It's like, and you can tell when it's someone who does music videos. There was something else we did. That was a guy that was known for doing music videos too. And it's like, you can tell the way it was shot. It's definitely of that style. But yeah, that's about it. I'm like, Max Headroom's the only thing that stands out to me that I know of, and then of course Super Mario. So,
I mean, if they've done music videos, I can see that style in this movie, and I can see the style of music videos being very, very similar, especially if the music videos were done in the 90s. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes, especially now that I can talk a little more freely about the 90s, because Frank's not actually here. No, seriously. When did you would know this, the first music video on MTV, right? And that was maybe like late 80s. So
Video killed the radio star.
Yes. So, and then this medium, this new crazy fangled thing that the kids are all doing of music videos. I'm like, that's why when you see like the big, real like chunk of like, this is the first time we've really kind of gotten into this medium, and it's like, if you look at like any music videos in the 90s, that is some weird shit, man. I mean, like, it's just stuff now even where I'm like, this has nothing to do with anything about the song or about anything. And I'm like, I feel like now it's just a vehicle for someone to get themselves in and be like, hey, I made this thing, and it's, I don't know, this band's gonna do a song to it. Does it make sense? No. Okay. I don't know. You get to direct a couple, 2-3 minute thing, 4-minute thing, however long the song is, to put just to tie in with it. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of miss when things actually made sense for music videos, or it was something that was kind of cool. Maybe it was visual, but nothing where it's like, what is happening? What is going on? Like this, like where it's just a lot of sensory things are going on. And I'm like, what? Like one of my favorites was actually from '89. She Drives Me Crazy by the Fun Young Cannibals. I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on, but like a lot of weird. Why does the guy have a TV on his head? Why are there like Timu Power Rangers doing like karate kicks? And I'm like, I don't know what this is. You know what I mean? So that to me, that's why I'm kind of fascinated sometimes by these music videos in the 90s, because some of them are just out there, man. So I kind of get it. Like you said, this. Now I need somebody to like make a music video out of like clips from this movie. Be hilarious.
That'd be incredible.
And hello to Derpy. Thank you for your thoughts in the chat, because we took 2 hours out of our day to watch this movie. Oh yeah, shout out to the Goombas. The real ones. Excuse me. But I'm never really, like I said, too upset that I watched a movie. I might still have thoughts on it, but yeah, it's let's see, this is kind of what I was thinking too with what Frank said. The filmmaking technology just wasn't really there in '93, and like I said, you have maybe 8 years of Mario content of games. Like, there's really not a lot to work with. So I mean, I don't know where you would have landed. I mean, I would have maybe landed on, hey, let's not do this, because what were you going to do? I mean, really, I mean, I can't I'm going to sound like a hypocrite if I don't say like, well, I'm not going to knock somebody for trying. I mean, you made something, so I don't know. It's not like it's always going to be good. There is a funny thing about what Frank said about filmmaking technology in that particular year, because there's something I do want to mention later. But yeah, let's get the directors off my tabs here, because not a lot to show for, but hey, that's the funny irony is we're talking about a movie made by a husband and wife team, and here we are reviewing said movie. It's all full circle, guys. It's all full circle. Okay, let's talk about the cast. Let's get the comments out of here. Let's go to Mario and Luigi. Hell yeah, Mario and Luigi. So, to be honest, I mean, love it or hate it, but you got actually some pretty big names in this movie. I mean, maybe not quite so much at this time, like with John Leguizamo, who was still pretty young at this time. But of course, Bob Hoskins as Mario. Where is he? I know he's here somewhere. Where are you, Koopa? Dennis Hopper. I mean, great actor playing, I guess, King Koopa. The hilarious thing that I said about this was me and her watched Speed for the first time. Well, she watched Speed for the first time, and I'm like, see, you know what's great? This came out the year before, and I'm like, and they do something like as amazing as that the year after, and I'm like, what?
Range.
I guess range is one way to put it. Or there is a piece of trivia which I have so famously heard about Dennis Hopper and why he did this movie. But as Cinema Sins has said, he's like, I don't know why people with the caliber of like Dennis Hopper and Bob Hoskins are in this movie. I'm like, you need like a summer house you got to pay off or something, man. Like, why are you doing this? Of course, Samantha Mathis is Princess Daisy. Yeah, there's some big hitters in this movie. So what do you think about this cast? Is there any one of these people in particular stick out to you?
I thought that, I mean, for what it is, I thought it was the cast was pretty good. I mean, if you're gonna cast, I mean, Mario felt like Mario and Luigi felt like Luigi. I mean, it felt right, sort of. I'm saying that like they felt like, I mean, if you were to make it a good movie, I still think the cast would have worked in a way. Just the plot would have had to be better. I think the cast would have still worked. I think the plot was kind of where the problem was, if that makes sense. Yeah. I think the cast was good. I think that Luigi was my favorite, if we're asking that question too.
I knew I married you for a reason.
So I think that I think that it was cast well, honestly, in my opinion. But I don't know. I think that where the movie could have been more successful was not in the casting area. I think the casting area was good. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, plot's usually our next point, because I know that's the big topic of discussion, honestly. Yeah, that's for me, obviously. I mean, if anyone does know me, obviously my favorite character is always Luigi. No disrespect to Mario, but I mean, complete disrespect to Mario, because Luigi is better. But I will continue to say this, and I will die on this damn mushroom hill till the day I die. I'm telling you, just go play Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. A fantastic game, cool story. I mean, you introduce like lightning powers. We know they have fire power, so Mario gets the fire, obviously, right? And then Luigi gets electricity. I'm like, that's dope as hell. But there are so many times, even right in the very beginning, that Luigi continuously saves Mario in this game. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be like the best? I mean, when everybody puts Mario up on the the first place trophy in Mario Kart, but like, goddamn, he got his head stuck in the sand in like the first like 5 minutes of the game, and like he was stuck there until Luigi just popped him out. He had a poisonous mushroom and almost died, and the only person who could go get the cure to go save him was Luigi. He had to venture off by himself to go save his brother. Mario got stuck in the goddamn barrel, and he got like waterlogged with this soda. And who had to break him out? Luigi. I'm telling you, like Luigi is the best. Period. And like I said, yeah, I don't know. I love John Leguizamo, and I love him as Luigi. I can agree with what you said. I think, yeah, the cast would have worked, if this had been something. I would love to know, like, what a good live action Mario would be and what it would look like. I mean, we're going to talk about the 2023 movie Thursday. I'm like, see, that's what a Mario movie should have been. But I'm like, but I'm still, something in the back of my mind is still curious about, like, man, what would it look like? How would it be? I mean, you kind of have to lean into the, like we said, to the camp, to the goofy stuff. Like, because when you think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's a plumber jumping on mushrooms and, dinosaurs and monsters and shit and eating shrooms and, he's shooting fire from his hands, right? Like, just kind of have to go with it. And of course, I would say, oh, that's a good picture of him. I would say Dennis Hopper, of course, obviously as King Koopa. I mean, it's Dennis Hopper. I don't have to explain myself. But where is he? Of course, obviously, we all know who the real hero of the movie always is, and the games. It's obviously Yoshi.
Yoshi.
We all love Yoshi. And again, now that we've seen that Yoshi is going to be in the new Mario Galaxy movie, I'm like, I know we are all just freaking the hell out about it. Yeah. Yoshi's always the best. That's what I'd say. I'm pretty sure plot is next. So oh yes, yeah, of course. I've got a picture of that damn meteor somewhere. I'm certain of it. Yeah, let's talk about the plot now. Like I said, the plot is the
here we go.
Yeah, there it is. That damn meteor shard. I wish I could just play the opening of this movie without getting probably sued into fucking oblivion by Nintendo. But then I'm like, yeah, but but the movie does exist, doesn't it? Ooh, I want to call you out right now. So, yeah, plot of the movie is that, of course, we all know 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs go extinct. A meteor hits the Earth, even though it was definitely in Mexico and not, friggin' Brooklyn, but whatever. Who cares? Wipes out the dinosaurs, and for some odd reason, because science, I guess. Like I said, everybody hold on to your rumble packs, because I'm telling you, you're gonna go for a fucking ride here. It creates an alternate universe where obviously the Earth, does its thing. We get to the point we're at, but it creates an alternate dimension, which is for some reason all desert and then just Manhattan. But everybody evolves from dinosaurs, and they kind of still evolve into humans. So it's a parallel universe in the fact that it's kind of similar. It's got similar beats to our world. And of course, the meteor is still in the dinosaur kingdom, I guess we can call it. I don't know. And there is this one, and that's what the picture is here. There's one particular shard of said meteor is actually sent with Princess Daisy through the portal that was made, this little world between worlds. Actually, I think I have a picture of that because, as you do, the typical, you leave baby on the doorstep of a bunch of nuns who did not ask for this. And even though I'm pretty sure I have a picture of it, that's Luigi. Hello. You just watched a child hatch out of a fucking egg, and you did not just denounce your entire religion right there. I mean,
nuns care for all living creatures, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know what to think when I saw this scene. I have so many questions and no answers. And if you know anything about me, I was raised very Christian, and this whole scene just confused the hell out of me. I know it's just, you're just supposed to go with it, but what did they expect? They just expect you to go past this scene and not think about that. But how are you supposed to go past this scene and not think about it? I'm still thinking about this, and it's been a day, and I feel like I'm still going to be thinking about it later. How could they not react to this in any way other than screaming? I don't understand.
Well, they're Catholic. That's a little different.
Well, yes, but still, the Catholic Church, a baby inside an egg. I mean, come on.
I mean, his sister did do a couple, when she came out, but I was like, all right, but we're not going to talk about this, are we? Like,
that's also not what I was expecting. I was expecting a
dinosaur.
I was expecting a human dinosaur hybrid to come out of that egg. I was fully expecting a hybrid human dinosaur to come out of that egg. That's what I was expecting. Yes, that is exactly what I was expecting to come out of that egg. That is what I was expecting to come out of that egg. I was not expecting a human to come out of that egg. So that was actually more shocking. No, I was not expecting her to come out of that egg. I was more shocked by the fact that there was just a human baby coming out of an egg than I was anything else, to be honest with you. What was that about? First of all.
Yeah, no. And to my mom, who is laughing out loud, no, we're not kidding. We're not kidding. We're not even past like the first 5. I think the credits are still rolling in the beginning of this. This is
just the beginning.
Yeah, this is Daisy's mom, who I'm assuming is the queen, I guess, because she is the princess. Like being delivered to the fucking nuns in the Earth Realm, and then she just she tries to run away, and then she gets caught by King Koopa, and then we never see the mom again. So whatever. Yeah, no, they're just like, yep, that hatched and that happened. I mean, you don't think there'd be some sort of, I mean, this was also like 20 years ago. Like, they were like 20 years ago, she was delivered to this doorstep.
And we just breeze right past it.
Yeah, the world would be fundamentally kind of a different place if you just said like, oh yeah, there's some nuns that had this, and you believe them, they're fucking nuns. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. They straight up saw that happen. I don't know. But she can't, I mean, I think I have a picture of the pod. She had the, it has it also has this weird shard on there that you're just like, yeah, that's probably okay. We'll just tie it around her neck and she'll wear that for the rest of her life and it'll be fine. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, this is totally fine and normal.
And then, she becomes an archaeologist, ironically, digging up dinosaur bones, which I there is a picture of it somewhere, but I'm just like, it's dinosaur bones. We've seen it. Seen it before. Well, with that out of the way, I mean, so you get, I guess we kind of get Mario and Luigi. There it is. A couple pictures of the plumbing van. Obviously, the Mario Brothers plumbing service. Of course, Brooklyn's best. When they're not being beaten out by Scapelli, because apparently getting to a job is a race, not like, hey, you're going to get contracted to do this job. I don't know.
I too often call multiple plumbers to my house when I have a plumbing job to see who gets here first, and then give the job to whoever gets here first, because that's how the world works, obviously.
You know what also kills me is it's like it was almost there. This movie came out in 93. Mario Kart came out in 92. I'm like, oh, you were so close. There could have been some really cool stuff you maybe could have tried to add to this movie, because there are a lot of like, I say a lot, like there was like 2, but that's a lot in this movie. There was like car chases and, crazy shit like that. So I'm like, I mean, maybe they knew about it a little bit, but maybe again, still not enough to know what to put. I mean, they're not going to make them travel down some rainbow road in the, I don't know. You know what? Maybe they could have. I don't know. Who knows? Goddamn. And Coconut Mall was definitely not a thing until like 2008. So I mean, that's a shame. The best track, the best soundtrack as well. But of course, Princess Daisy's doing this dig at this site somewhere just like in the balls ass middle of Manhattan, because you can do that
under the Brooklyn Bridge, I thought,
or whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry to every New Yorker that does not watch the show. I'm just, I'm sorry. Yes, it was definitely right near the Brooklyn Bridge. He has this dig going on, and of course, Scapelli, who was the other. I got a picture of him. There he is. The gentleman on the left, who obviously is like this like mob guy on the side too, because I mean, of course he is. Who's threatening to shut down her dig and just threatening her out of the way, because they're trying to. I don't think they just do plumbing. I think they did like contract work and like construction and stuff like that. So she's kind of in their way, unfortunately, and of course the university is not going to help her out anymore. And all the while, unfortunately, you get Iggy and Spike in this movie. These are the two like most Harry and Marv fucking people I've ever seen in my life, because I'm like, Home Alone had already been out. That was 1990. You got these two bumbling dudes who were obviously like the henchmen trying to grab Princess Daisy and bring her back to the dinosaur kingdom, whatever the hell. And I feel like weirdly they wouldn't be out of place in New York City. I mean, they don't. they just look kind of off. But yeah, they're after Princess Daisy because of course she has the last bit of the meteorite that's gonna merge their two worlds. Where's this? Okay, I'm pretty sure I thought this chick was is it Pauline? Is that her name? Pauline, I think from the deep cuts from it's actually the woman who's in the Donkey Kong arcade game who you save. It's not Princess Peach. And I thought because she was with Mario, I'm like, is that her? Because that's kind of wild, because you never really hear anything about her until like maybe recently in games about Pauline. No, I think she's apparently just she's Mario's girlfriend, but I think it also, when I looked it up, said hooker. I'm like, sure, but I don't fucking know. Maybe she is. A lot of shrooms. I don't know what's going on. Paid a lot of coin for her, I guess. I don't fucking know, man. But what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, going back to Iggy and Spike, they're trying to capture Daisy, right? But they keep messing up. Now, they keep messing up because they think other women are Princess Daisy, but the women in the alternate dimension also just look like women. So I don't understand how they keep messing up bringing her back when the women in their dimension also just look like women, and they keep bringing back women who look like other women. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense.
I don't know if anyone even really had a picture of Daisy. I mean, she was born in the human world, I guess, or maybe she was hatched. I don't know.
Well, she clearly hatched out of that egg. We saw it with the nuns.
Yeah, but I'm saying is, I don't know if anyone had like a description of her. Like, I don't know how they know what they're looking for. That is kind of, I guess, a subplot of this movie, is that like there are women going missing from Brooklyn. And it's because of these two. They're trying to capture Princess Daisy, and they keep failing at it. Although there is a point later in the movie that I have the picture of the dial actually. Somewhere. These pictures weren't so damn small. Oh, there it is. Like when you have this machine, this like Saturday morning cartoon fucking level of machine, where it's like, oh, I can just like de-evolve people, or I can. There's no gap of like, oh, it's de-evolve or you're like advanced, and he comes out of there doing the Scarecrow thing from Wizard of Oz, where he like says some big equation and he's still wrong. I don't know if that was the joke, but like whatever. And I'm kind of like, okay, but why? Okay, first of all, why these two guys? I mean, first of all, there are other Koopas. I mean, I don't know if there were at that time, but like there are other Koopas that we've seen, the kid Koopas and shit. But I'm like, why didn't you just make them smart in the first place? And then this could have been a lot easier. I mean, I don't know. Is it that cartoony level of like, there's got to be a little bit of dumb to the bad guy where it like doesn't make sense because plot? because he does do this. I mean, eventually, like I said, he makes them smarter, and then weirdly after they grow conscious, they're like kind of good guys. I don't know, but I mean, you de-evolve somebody. Where's the picture of him? Now, if I gave you this picture with no context and I told you to tell me which Mario character this was, would any of you be able to tell me who he was? No, because casually as he gets arrested, the cop yells his name, Toad, and we all know Toad. Toad's a favorite character of a lot of people. Sure, this guy singing, anti-Koopa messaging on the street is definitely Toad. And wah, he eventually just turns into that. He just de-evolves into, that's their idea of a Goomba. I don't know. Goombas are definitely like maybe a foot tall. There's little mushroom dudes. I'm sure we'll get into like comparison of like, the video game versus the movie, but yeah. And that's kind of, I mean, it is just kind of the plot. It's merge the worlds, or make sure Koopa doesn't do this and turn everybody into, actually, so what he's trying to do with the Earth realm is de-evolve everybody into apes, because for some reason, or maybe then the dinosaurs are going to rule the planet of the apes. Yes, I made that joke. Sorry. It would have been better than the crap that we saw with Mark Wahlberg. I'm just saying. If I would have saw some dinosaurs sitting on Abe Lincoln's chair, I would have been pissed off too. But anywho, I mean that's the plot. I mean, I'm not going to go into more of it. What do you think about this plot? We've had a couple interjections here, but what do you think about this plot? The question you always ask, does it work? Is there anything you would change? Cheat code you put in? Something.
Well, for one, I have many questions.
We all do.
For one, my main question of the plot is probably, so we discussed it a little bit. We discussed the meteorite and the singular piece of the meteorite that's missing. Why is there only one singular piece of this meteorite missing?
Plot MacGuffin.
I don't understand how a meteorite can hit the Earth and there only be one piece missing that is perfectly fit into a necklace-sized shape.
But is that not the most video game thing?
It is the most video game thing I've ever seen, yes. But I digress. As for the plot is something. Does it work for me? Not really. Not really, and sort of. I'll put it that way. Not really, because it kind of felt like all over the place in a way. There were a lot of holes in this plot, and there was a lot going on. Especially with the de-evolution thing, and I didn't quite understand why, with the merging of the dimensions, why it was necessary. They didn't really explain why it was necessary. I think it had to do with resources or something, like that the plane of existence of where we descended from apes had more resources, but I wasn't really clear on that. So it didn't really make sense why they needed to merge them. And then why did they want to de-evolutionize everybody in the one dimension into apes?
So they could be superior, I guess.
So they could be superior, but why? I don't know, when they already were superior in their dimension. The plot didn't exactly work for me, because I didn't really understand what the point was of the whole thing. And then you have the very end of the movie where they set themselves up for a sequel. That's hilarious.
That's adorable. They thought they were getting a sequel.
They were not getting a sequel. But it also did kind of work for me a little bit, because I must admit, I did have fun. I had fun watching this movie. Because it was so ridiculous and goofy and quirky. It was silly. I that's why I did kind of enjoy it in that sense, just because it was so silly. So the plot kind of worked for me just because it was like, oh, this is the most ridiculous thing. Like, why are we doing this? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? This is funny. Like that, in that sense, it worked for me because it was just so ridiculous. But in a general sense, no, the plot really didn't work for me, unfortunately.
And that's what I keep saying is that this, this is not too long after, Mario has even come into existence, and people playing the original Nintendo games, right? So I actually am trying. I think when did Mario 3 come out? Was that like 91? I'm trying to think. There's like Lost Levels. I think 2 had already been out at this point. I want to say Super Mario 3 was out. I think that's early 90s. So, but yeah, still, even then, there's not a lot here. So I don't know. I mean, if I ever could have like sat down with one of these people and been like, or a writer or one of the directors being like, so how exactly did we get to this? I mean, genuinely, how did this? I don't know, because I mean, when you look at, see, now I'm gonna be like the nerd of like, when I go to a haunted house, I'm not worried about like the story. I'm like, I'm the nerd who's looking at, ooh, that chandelier is really cool. Ooh, that's a cool prop. Like, that's cool. When you look around the world building, I'm like, well, I mean, that's what they gave to us here and said it was, and we're like, yeah, this looks like it. I mean, as believable as I can, believe it to be, I guess. It looks like what it would be, in some alternate dimension, that it feels lived in. It feels like an actual, place. And again, 93. I mean, it's more practical effects anyhow. It's kind of more the real only like CGI is probably like with the meteor and then like the going between the worlds. I think Dennis Hopper's tongue was like CG'd, but still that was fine. Maybe the de-evolutionary guns and the definite like not Thanos snap of Mario like disintegrating along with King Koopa. It's like okay, but it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. But I mean, if that's the plot, I'm like, well, the plot that's what we got out of this, and this is what we were doing. We were along for this crazy ride, and like you said, there was entertaining bits about this. I'm like, I genuinely do still laugh at this movie because I'm like, there's just some funny shit that just one-liners and stuff that still get me. Even I mean, some of the where did my arrow go? Hello, it's hiding from me. Like I said, speaking of world building, I'm like just little things that you catch like that. Like there's a sign for Thwomp, like one of the enemies of the game. There's Koopa Square, sure, which is the New York subway. So it wasn't. It at least had some, whatever this was, did have thought behind it. Now again, why these are the thoughts we had, I don't know. I know I'm trying to merge those two like lines of thought, and I can't. So I mean, because I didn't hatch out of an egg, and I had like the one key element to how that's going to make sense. So yeah, I think Frank, like I said, Frank, you come on, you grew up in the 80s. It doesn't have to, it's the cartoony thing of like, here's light speed, faster speed, ludicrous speed. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe it was them in their current time, and then for some reason they know what advanced means. I don't know. That's the ludicrous speed of this movie. I don't know. Oh God. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say that too. I agree. Samantha Mathis, as Cinema Sins always does say, is not my 90s girlfriend in this scene. I'm like, yeah, she's she ain't hard to look at. Now of course Frank's getting all the good. It would probably be more fun if you were inebriated. I mean, you definitely would have fun with this movie, but yeah, I mean, if you're just if you're just there for the ride, man, just let it happen. don't try to make too much sense of it because, like I said, they already kind of tell you what it is. But I think there could have been something a little better for a plot. I don't know. That's why I like the 2023 movie. I'm like, it still kind of makes sense for what we're doing, but I'm like, but the world's a little more believable because it is this kind of not quite fantasy, but it is this kind of otherworldly thing where there are mushrooms that make you taller. There are leaves that for some reason turn you into a cat or a raccoon that you can fly. I mean, one of my favorite power-ups, the cape. You have the yellow cape that can make you fly. Like, and there's all. I mean, I've kind of cut off since like, I don't know, 2000 with my Mario playing. Like, so a lot of old school power-ups that I'm still like. There's stuff that blows my mind now. Like, there's like ice powers. There's fire powers. Well, fire is always there. Like the electric power. Like I said, when Mario Luigi, there's stuff like that. The hammers that they get, like they get these hammers that are like powered up hammers that help them out during the adventure.
A sentient hat.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Odyssey at least. Yes, the sentient Mario hat that he has. I'm not really sure what the hell was about the elephant power up. That's where I'm like, okay, we're getting to like Pokemon territories of weird. Where I'm like, what are these Pokemon? This has been going on for like 30 years. A lot of these made sense, but now I'm just like, huh? Yeah, it's like that clip from Family Guy with Stephen King. Like, you're not even trying anymore, are you? Like, that's what it feels like. But yeah, that's the thing. It's intrinsically kind of the hard thing with doing live action as opposed to doing animation or even obviously a video game. The suspension of disbelief is a little different because I'm like, we associate with, oh, well, this is real. So like to us, it's like, this looks goofy because like we don't think of that as being something that would normally happen, like a meteor splitting dimensions and dinosaur people that look like people. So I don't know. Which actually, hey, that's a good segue into the fourth point. Is this better off as an animated film as opposed to live action? There is the big question. What do you think?
Yeah, it's better as an animated. It's better. It should be animated. I don't really know what the thought behind making this live action was in the first place. I mean,
I love that shot. I'm sorry.
That is a good shot with him.
Trust the shrew.
Trust the mushroom.
Trust the fungus.
Yes, trust the fungus. And the mushroom just grows big and protects him or whatever.
Yeah.
But that whole plot point was weird. That the fungus thing was her father. That whole thing was very weird. Very weird. Anyways, back to the point. Yes, I think it would be better as an animated movie and show and anything else you would do with it. Not to say that this wasn't an interesting experience, but it's better animated for sure.
Yeah. I agree. I've said that a few times where I'm like, it's the nature of these video games. Like I said, they're in other they are in other dimensions, other kingdoms, other things, other worlds that we've seen. Like, I mean, we've seen like with Donkey Kong, with Sonic is Sega, but you know what I mean. Shit, like Samus, Star Fox, stuff like that. Where I'm like, it's these kind of fantastical other places that you go. Then that's what entertainment does. That's what video games do, especially. Like, you can have these crazy worlds happen, but I'm like, sometimes they don't work live action. Now, and speaking of like video game movies, I'm like, yeah, you could do something like Prince of Persia, where I'm like, yes, it's a little more grounded in reality. That makes more sense. I really hope we do the Doom movie because that would also be hilarious. Which was live action. It's like it could maybe work. It didn't. spoiler, but hey, and like with this, yeah, it does definitely lend itself to being more for something that's animated or a video game. Because I don't know if this was the first movie adaptation of a video game, but like not a good start because like I said, around this time, I mean, there was Doom, there was Street Fighter, there was Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, now yes, I do. Mortal Kombat has become like a gem because they're just. I mean, they do kind of stick to the point. They're like, yeah, we're gonna fight. Yep, there's a fight for Earthrealm. Okay. Steve, you got that kick-ass theme song? Yeah, cool. Got it. This is gonna be a great movie, guys. Honestly, let's be fair. But that, I mean, that movie even works live action, as we've seen. We've seen that have had kind of a second life as a rebooted series. But yeah, this was a rough start, and I think I understand why. And as we've said, this was a movie that Nintendo just kind of completely lost faith in the film industry, and it just not a good look for a long time. That's why almost I think 30 years on the nose. 2023 was, like I said, we're gonna talk about that movie on Thursday. Like that's why it probably took this long to do this again and actually do it right. Like we said, stick around for Thursday's show because we'll see how this actually does carry itself a lot better as an animated film. That's just what it is. That's how the mushroom crumbles, or whatever. I don't fucking know. Oh, good lord! Get off my screen because now we got to go to trivia. Get out of here. Okay. Oh, good. We have trivia, which I'm sure I got enough pictures for this time because Frank always makes fun of me for that. Who do we? Ooh, okay, good. Yeah. I like this bit. Let's. I need Koopa. There you are, sir. Explaining why he did the film, Dennis Hopper said, quote, "My 6-year-old son at the time, he's now 18, he said, 'Dad, I think you're probably a pretty good actor, but why did you play that terrible King Koopa guy in Super Mario Bros?' And he said, 'Well, Henry, I did that so you could have shoes.' He said, 'Dad, I don't need shoes that badly.'" If you've never heard that, I love that. I love that tidbit so much. Even when did he say at the time? Yeah, even a 6-year-old at the time is like, "Dad, not a good look, man." I mean, like I said, you redeemed yourself with Speed the year after. I mean, so I'll give you some points back. Let's go to Bob Hoskins, who, I'm sorry, he's always Eddie Valiant to me, but I'm like, if there was a second, he'd be Mario for me. I mean, come on. Let's get Bob Hoskins. I mean, he's got the look. I mean, look at him. I mean, you could tell me if I showed you that out of context, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is a Mario movie, obviously." In a 2011 interview with The Guardian, Bob Hoskins described the film's production as, quote, "a fucking nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. It had a husband and wife team directing whose arrogance had been mistaken for talent. After so many weeks, their own agents had told them to get off set. Fucking nightmare. Fucking idiots." Yeah, some harsh words from Bob Hoskins. I've always heard like he had a horrible time making this. I don't think he even really knew what it was or what it was about. He just, I've always heard that quote, and I'm like, damn, dude, that sucks. Good.
I was just gonna say, wow, that's wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the quote. I've always seen that whenever I've seen people talk about this movie. I'm like him just saying like, I don't know what they were thinking. They're fucking idiots. This was an awful experience. I'm like, God, that sucks, man. Like, and I don't want to say like, I mean, I've seen Bob Hoskins do some other stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not expecting him to be like the next Brad Pitt or some shit, you know what I mean? But And I mean, Leguizamo, went on to do other stuff. I mean, he definitely did that Romeo and Juliet movie in the 90s, which I absolutely fucking adore as well. I hope we do that someday because that's a great movie. And of course, he was in John Wick, as we know. He was the guy that helped fix up his car. Yeah, he's. I'm glad he didn't get kind of brought down by this movie. I'd love to know what his thoughts are on it now. Kind of looking back on it now, think about it. Gotta get a picture of that. Let's get a picture of the van. I have a van. Mario Bros. Van. During a chase scene, Bob Hoskins actually broke his finger when the van's door had slammed onto his hand. For the rest of the film, Hoskins is wearing a cast that was painted pink to look like his hand. Like I said, he did not have a good time on this movie, and we're sprinkling in other reasons why he probably just had a terrible time. This poor fucking guy, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you just need the paycheck, I guess. I mean, sure, you do stuff for money, so. And I know Tex as well as myself, because we will not let Frank ever forget it, that Glenn Powell is a thing. And Glenn Powell has now been announced. They put out a teaser of their Star Fox. I'm like, hold on. You better not be playing with me right now. Are we expanding out into like Metroid, Star Fox? Are we getting like a Super Smash Bros. Movie? Because I will lose my goddamn mind. And Glenn Powell has now been announced as Star Fox, and I need to hear him scream, do a barrel roll, because you just kind of have to at this point. Yeah. I am very excited about that. Let's get a picture. I have another picture of Yoshi. Where is he? There he is. There he is waving goodbye. With Daisy opening up the portal. The Yoshi puppet was capable of making 64 separate movements due to 200 feet of cable crammed inside his 3-foot tall structure. All in all, no less than 9 puppeteers were used to operate the Yoshi puppet. Honestly, and I think it looks awesome. Like, there was this other little indie movie, whatever, that came out, dinosaur movie of that year, 93, came out, called Jurassic Park. I mean, I'm not going to compare apples to oranges here, but I'm kidding. No, I mean, he looks good. Honestly, Yoshi for this time, where is the other one? There he is. He moves in like a believable way, and it's like, it's not like so much a puppet, but it's not so much, obviously it looks real, but like, I think they found a nice medium here. And like I said, you can compare it to like Jurassic Park with some of their puppetry, and honestly, I think it holds up. Yeah. I think Yoshi's the best. Something I actually did not know, and I'm glad Frank put this in here. I'm glad I got a good shot of it. The de-evolution gun that's seen at the end of the film were simply repainted versions of the Super Nintendo light gun accessory called the Super Scope. And you know what that is. I'm like, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, I see it. That's just the Nintendo light gun, the Super Scope. Like I said, that's why I've told people, I'm like, you can make, props for movies, for shows. It's honestly easy. If you just look at something, I mean, you slap a good paint job on something and, slap a couple other little weird gadgets and crap on it. I'm like, boom, you got a space gun. You don't really think about it, but yeah. Now, would it have been funny if all of Koopa's guards were armed with the little light gun from Duck Hunt? I'm like, now that would have been funnier than hell. Just don't even paint them. Just have the normal gray, the gray light guns. Now it just would have been pretty funny to me. Oh God! All right, let's go back to Luigi here, who I would also again like to point out because I'm obligated to see something else here. They were sitting there talking about putting in that little bit of the meteor, and only Daisy being able to withstand it. I'm like, Daisy and Luigi, you see him there putting in work. He's able to withstand it too. He's obviously more powerful. Anyhow, what could have been? Tom Hanks was considered for the role of Luigi, but failure from Turner and Hooch in '89 and Joe versus the Volcano in 1990 led the studio to believe that Hanks was no longer a box office draw. Wah wah. You let that one Let that one steam in your mind for a minute. I bet you're like, wow, this guy's gonna do some movie called Toy Story. Yeah, it'll never take off. To infinity and what? Nah. I don't know. I don't know about a young, I say kind of young 93 Tom Hanks as Luigi. I think the thing that, obviously, where is he? Like, you gave Bob Hoskins the mustache, obviously the iconic mustache. I know he's the younger brother, but he does still have a mustache. I'm like, it's just John Leguizamo. I'm like, he could have let him grow out a little mustache or something. Like, I don't know. So that's what I'm trying to imagine. I'm like, could you at least given him one? Just a little one, please. I guess not. Oh God, we got more what could have been. All right, everybody hold on to your balls because now we're going to talk about Mario. And I love this shot because this is a very, very early shot in the movie. And I'm like, guys, I think you're wearing the wrong colors. You guys need to swap sweaters real quick. That's just like glaringly funny because he's wearing red and Mario's wearing green. Whatever. Oh God. Okay. All right, everybody hold on. Before Bob Hoskins was officially cast, Danny DeVito, Bruno Kirby were both attached to play the role of Mario at different times. Cheech Marin, yes, of Cheech and Chong, also turned down the role. I'm kind of glad Cheech turned it down. I don't know about that. Danny DeVito would have been kind of interesting, honestly. I get why, because he's like 4 foot tall. But I think he's also well, no, Batman Returns was 92, so he would have already been done with that. When was Twins? Was that in like 93? That's pretty close to that time. Hold on. No, I don't want actual twins. Jesus. What do you think I am? Twins was in 88. I'm okay. Wow. Okay, everybody, there it is on live. I messed one up. There you go. I thought that was later. No, so I don't know. And Matilda was like 96, I think. So yeah, that would have been interesting. Oh, we got no. I read that one. Okay. We talked about this. If you're gonna steal from something, you're gonna steal from something great. So we're gonna talk about that goddamn ending. According to writer Parker Bennett, the ending cliffhanger was directly lifted from Back to the Future. Yeah, she really just came in there, kidded up, and was like, "Guys, you're never gonna believe this. Like, I need your help." And they're just like, "Yep, sure." They slap on their tool belts. It ends with that that little smile, like, "Yep, another adventure." It's like, no, guys, no, you're not. Frank's bringing out the real truth here. 2 Mexicans playing Italian plumbers. That's very Hollywood.
You mean the harsh truth?
Oh. Oh, you got jokes. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't, we've seen Cheech Marin with a mustache. It could have worked. I don't fucking know. Lord. Yeah, but no sequel for you guys. I can just say this one real quickly. Harold Ramis was offered to direct a film but declined. Ramis was happy with his decision after the film had performed poorly. That's fair. Harold Ramis of obviously Ghostbusters fame and Stripes and a lot of other great comedies. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like maybe he could have had a better hand on it, but like I don't know what you would have went with. Still, I don't really know what. I don't know what the plot would have been. I really don't. Ooh, we got more. What could have been? Let's go back to King Koopa. I actually like that picture of him with the gun. All right. Armand Asante, I can't say people's names. Klaus Maria Brandauer. I think Frank does this to me on purpose. Kevin Costner, Willem Dafoe, Michael Douglas, Michael Gambon, Jeremy Irons, Tommy Lee Jones, Michael Keaton, Al Pacino, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Christopher Walken were all considered for the role of President Koopa. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, Jeremy Irons, we know, was Scar in The Lion King. I mean, Michael Gambon, the guy who played Dumbledore after Richard Harris passed. Tommy Lee Jones, we've all pushed that out of our mind. I don't even remember when that happened for Batman. I know. And speaking of Batman, Michael Keaton, I don't think so. Al Pacino, I think Al Pacino could have maybe played that pretty well. Arnold, I think, would have been it's too distracting. I mean, but if he is going to be the king of all the dinosaurs, the T-Rex, I mean, you're really going to make fun of his arms. I mean, he's going to have whatever. Christopher Walken, who, it's Walken. I mean, he's no stranger to just doing goofy shit. He could have worked. Michael Douglas, maybe. Willem Dafoe is an interesting one to me because I'm like, I don't know what 90s Willem Dafoe was really doing. I mean, 90s Willem Dafoe to me is Boondock Saints, so maybe. Kevin Costner, no. That's an interesting one. You basically just asked me, do I want Dumbledore, Scar, Two-Face, Batman, Scarface, Conan, and he deserves his own name, Christopher Walken, to be the bad guy? I don't know. I don't know about that. That's one hell of a murderer's row of people, though. And I'm just real quick, like I say this, yeah. Released 2 weeks before another dinosaur-related film, Jurassic Park. So, yeah, it may have got overshadowed by that just a tiny bit. I actually have a picture of this one. When the king comes back, because there is a king in the games. I think one of the games where you actually when you go into the flying airships and you grab the wands from each of the Koopas, you bring it down to the king of that kingdom, and that's just what he looks like. He's got the cape and the throne. That canonically that is a real thing in Mario. When the king turns back into a human, it was Lance Hendrickson's idea for him to cough up fungus. Hendrickson uses Rice Krispies in his hand to achieve the effect. Sure. Snap, crackle, and popped his way back into his existence, didn't he? I mean, hold on. Where's that damn picture? He went from, hanging from the damn ceiling. It's somewhere in here. These pictures must be damn small. I'm trusting the fungus king. Where are you? You let me down. There it is. Good Lord. And he went from this, just hanging from the ceiling, being all over the damn place, to just casually just back to that.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah, I mean, because apparently she doesn't have fungus growing out of her hair, whatever the hell. I don't know. Sure. But I believe that is actually all that's all the things. So, now that I have gotten to re-experience this and you've experienced it for the first time, you're welcome. No need to thank me. What are your final thoughts on this movie, the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie? What you got?
That was a movie that I have watched. It was interesting. I laughed quite a bit actually at this movie, just because it was so weird, and just because it was so weird and interesting. I don't know if I would suggest you watch it or not. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know. I think I would suggest you watch it just because it is so interesting. It's interesting. It's interesting enough to at least watch it once. Give it a chance. Give it a once chance. I think that it is worth watching at least once. You've got to try it at least once. You're gonna have to find it though, because it's not. I don't think it's on any streaming platform anywhere. You're gonna have to find a physical copy somewhere. But I had fun watching it just because it was so out there and weird. If you like out there and weird movies, you will like this one. I will say that. And yeah, those are my final thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
It is one of those things that kind of has to be seen to believe. I would recommend it, and like I said, I'm never gonna say like don't. I mean, there's some movies I would say don't watch, but I'm saying give it a chance. I mean, like if you want to form your own opinion of it, I mean, you may like it. Yeah, you don't know. You might find it entertaining, like we did. I genuinely the movie does make me smile. It does have a weird charm to it. Like I said, it's just a fun ride. It is kind of the, like as Frank says sometimes, just put the popcorn in your face and just have a good time. Just go with it. I mean, don't try to put too much logic behind. I mean, they already tell you, like I said in the beginning, they tell you exactly what the plot is. You're not just like figuring out as you go along. They flat out tell you this is what happened. You're like, all right, well, what do you got? Now that we're here, well, what's going to happen? But what's going to happen? You're not ready for it. So I'm just telling you, just let the ride happen. I think even you try to look for this thing, I mean, good luck. I mean, you really got to fire up the pirate ships, as it were.
Sail the high seas.
And even then, I would say good luck to you. But it's I'm sure it's possible. Or you can be like me, and I actually do own a physical copy of this movie. Unironically. So apparently I paid $4 for it. Hey, but it was worth it. So I realized that's still on there. Whoops. But I'm going to keep that on there. That's just hilarious to me. So yeah, go watch it for yourself. I mean, don't let a negative review ever keep you from watching a movie. I mean, really, just go see it, and you can at least say, hey, I saw it, and this is my opinion of it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. If it entertains you for, I mean, what is it, like an hour and a half? Yeah, like an hour and a half. I mean, sure, it did its job. So I would recommend it. I mean, this was $4. I probably you can probably find it in a bargain bin. You can probably find it. God, I sound old. In a video store somewhere that still exists. That's definitely what the sticker of this is. I just read what it was. I'm like, oh, oof, that place is no longer in business, but that sucks. That's all right though. The internet's a wonderful thing. I'm saying you could probably find it on Amazon or other places,
eBay or something like that.
Someone's got it. It's just not Nintendo, Yeah, that's the good point. As Frank said, movies are a form of art and art is subjective.
I had fun. We'll put it that way. I had fun watching this movie.
Yeah, I think that's what it should do. That's the point. Now look, God damn it. I think there was a kink in his warp pipe because I guess he decided to show his face. Casey is now finally here. I mean, I don't know why I don't get the luxury of you showing up first when Frank does it, but whatever, man. It's fine. We're talking about video games and you took this long to get here. What is that? Congrats, you won the poll again. Look at you. God damn it, Casey. Maybe we'll have to play an old school Mario game or something. I don't know. Gotta get this out of my system. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, we're watching this to gear up for, we're gonna review the 2023 movie, and then Super Mario Galaxy comes out on April 1st, which is actually tomorrow. Yeah, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers because everyone's just like, hey, look, it is a Smash Bros. Movie. I'm like, stop, Jesus, whoa, stop. I know a lot of you saw it like 2 weeks ago because you have special privileges to watch a movie before the rest of us normies, but Jesus. All I saw was Star Fox, and I'm like, I'm already excited. And I'm trying to not like have everybody tell me like, oh yeah, everybody else in the universe is here. I'm like, okay. So I'll eventually see it, and we will be here to review it. So with that being said, where do people find you on the internet as we get out of here?
You can find me on TikTok. I'm Tim Septum. You can also find me on Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it now.
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
God damn
it. You can find me there as well. Yeah, I post videos of me doing haunt makeup mostly. So you can check me out there.
Yeah, and she's a lot more talented than me, but all I have to do is slap horns on and put in, contacts and act like a dick. So, sorry, more so a dick, because I just kind of crank it up to 11 a little bit. I kid. If I had more time to do stuff, I mean, I would definitely be doing some crazy stuff. But no, check her stuff out. It's really cool. Some of the makeup stuff she's done over the past couple years. And yeah, like I said, we'll be here. I'm sure you'll probably still be joining us because I know Frank's like, oh, it's video games. It's a little more your thing. I'm like, okay, fair, but I don't know. He gave me the keys to the Mario Kart for like this next week and a half, so I will not complain. Yeah, so Thursday is Super Mario from 2023. It is going to be night and day. Not that I haven't praised this movie, but I'm like, that movie definitely deserved the praise for what it managed to pull off. And we'll be here talking about that. So we'll see all you people. Where's the damn music? There we go. Until then, just the fungus.
This was something.
Yeah. I think you get to unmute yourself. I can't do it apparently. I don't have the...
Oh. This was something, I said.
It's definitely something. I don't know, man. It's an interesting something. I'll say that. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.